When we start this process of right care first time where you live in any area, what I'm hoping to see is a lot of people, young people, diverse people, people from across the range of health, education, social services, coming together to wanting to solve the problem together. So on day one, what's great about this is to see so many people in the room and to see young people with lived experience, young people who want to change the system at the front.
So this program is innovative in that it considers the data that we have, the evidence that we have, and brings people with lived experience to the table to really give that experience of care across the many systems that they touch. So it looks at the education system, the social care system, the health system, and thinks about how all those bits fit together, and then models that so we can look at different simulation, different scenarios, and really decide how we're going to invest in the future for Western Sydney.
By the end of today, we are going to have mapped out the youth mental health system in Western Sydney that we will then be able to take back all of that information and transform it into a computer model of what the Western Sydney youth mental health system looks like now.
Western Sydney has an amazing community. It's so vibrant and just wonderful, wonderful people. We're actually one of the most culturally diverse regions in the world, but certainly in Australia, located in that small area. Some of the challenges with that mean that, I think more than 50% of our population don't speak English at home. So there are obviously a few more barriers that we have to overcome, particularly in mental health services, where there's a lot of stigma in other cultures around mental health.
The mapping experience was really invigorating, and it was really wonderful to see that as soon as those tools came out and the pens and the paper, the room got really engaged in starting to really wrestle with the problem and break it down. And it was beautiful to see the young people with lived experience taking the forefront and taking that leadership role in sharing what they know to be true about the barriers and the pathways and the stories of what it's really like for people.
I think it was really cool to see everyone's different experiences and different ways that they got to where they are and how they got through different services. And some people brought up stuff that I never would have thought of, like going through like courts and prison systems and stuff like that, which I have no experience in, but it's really nice to see that we've got like a very holistic view of this system in our map.
There's so many like silos, I guess, or like, I don't know how to describe it, but there's like NDIS, DCJ, mental health in general, physical health leading into mental health. There's a lot of that, and that was really interesting to kind of see how like messy and how big it is.
We can't begin to approach real impact, real positive change without looking at the wider system, without looking at all of the pieces and how they fit together and how they influence each other.
The breadth of organisations, professional skills, lived experience, geographical experiences, all of those things then mean everybody's putting maybe only a small little difference in, but all of those differences make that cooking pot just turn into something richer and therefore you've got to imagine it's more sustainable, it's more likely to be accepted by the people who need to use it.
The technicalities of the use of the tool I'm going to look forward to exploring over the short term. But what I can see happening today is members of the community coming to consider whether business as usual is something they're prepared to put up with, because I'm not.
This is the start of like potentially transformative way that we look at healthcare in Western Sydney, because there's obviously that friction that comes with starting anything, to be honest. And so this workshop is no different.
I think the potential in the Right Care First Time Where You Live program is that it has brought lived experience voices from the beginning, and it's brought voices all across the mental health space. And we're seeing those bridges be built. And I think the potential for that means hopefully that the system can be less cumbersome to navigate, and that we can start to collaborate better across the different system areas.
Western Sydney is one of the most diverse places, not just in Australia, but on the planet. And it's diverse from all areas, whether it's religion, age, gender, you name it. There's diversity everywhere here in Western Sydney. It's an amazing place. It's a microcosm for the world in many ways. So if we can really unlock some of the problems that we've got around mental health and really empower people through better systems design, then this could be a template for not just the country, but for the world.